All right. Oh boy. So what's happening, people? I've been off this microphone for a while and I miss it. I miss when I'm not talking and getting feedback. This year's about over. We're winding down. So what was 2021 like for you and what does 2022 look like for you? So as we in the last few days of 2021 and I'm going to ask you to join with me these next few days. I'm going to be just talking just a little bit as we wind down and get into 2022. And, hopefully there's some things that, we can move into new and some things we can leave behind and, enjoy what's what's in store for us for the new year. And, it's always difficult for change, when things happen in our lives. And what does it look like? So, what I want to do, I need your help. We're really going to try to prepare for 2022 on making some things really happen and getting the most out of these last few years we have in our lives, especially those who are in our 60s and 70s. As my dad used to tell us, I got more days behind me that's in front of me. So typically the change of the calendar, there's a change in attitude. We come up with resolutions, and how many can we say, or how many of us can say that, hey, we keep our resolutions and our resolutions really stick with us and they make dramatic changes in our lives? Do we start them and it's just something we just say, hey, we're trying, and after a few weeks, a month or two, maybe we just go right back, or, we just kind of leave those things behind that we know makes a big difference or impact in our life. So I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit, these next few days and try to get us amped up to get ready to move into 2022. And I've told the story about resolution. Going to the gym. January 2nd. The gym is just packed. And we used to watch our watch and say, normally by end of January, mid-February, it was kind of just back to normal. Just the regular folks who that's just part of their life. So this year, there's some things that we can really stick with to say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for 2022. And so I want to use this platform to really help us maintain the new paths that we want to embark our lives on. Maybe leave some things behind that we don't want to take with us to 2022. And let's kind of do it, work together. So I'm going to be kind of talking about some things and some things that has helped me through the years kind of always keep pressing on. And I want to first just thank everyone for all the support that you have given me, in 2021 and even starting back in 2020. I've almost been doing this podcast now for almost 2 years, and I can't believe the response and in the audience, and how this has really just expanded. I'm in over 26 countries, and who thought it? But I know there's been some people and things in my life that without them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And being able to fight prostate cancer the way I'm fighting it. So I definitely want to first just thank all those who have always been in my corner, who have supported me, no matter what. I really appreciate it. And I would not be here would it not be for you. And I don't know how many people that you may have in your life that's always been there for you and, just kind of supported you. But I know that without that support, I wouldn't be here. So next year, we're going to really be diving into some new areas and topics and some of the same topics. But what we're going to do what I call a deep dive. We're going to get a little deeper. We're going to pull back the curtain a little bit and really challenge ourselves that, am I where I want to be? Am I happy where I am? And not so much worry about the past, but we do build on our past, and learn from what has happened in our lives every day and try to build and become better no matter what. So we're going to have some new stuff, some old stuff, and we're going to, just try to draw a line in the sand. You heard that term. I'm going to draw a line in the sand. I mean, hey, that's it. You crossed it this time. or I'm going to cross this line and I'm going to move forward. So, and that takes some deep diving sometimes, and even with our resolutions, we have to sometimes just, draw that line in the sand and say, hey, look, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to, lose weight. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to work out. I'm going to spend more time with my family. I'm going to do some things that maybe I've always wanted to do, but just didn't do it. Not because we didn't want to. Maybe sometimes we just don't know how. And not necessarily know how to carry them out, but how to get it started. And so that's one thing I kind of want to, talk about 2022. The financial series will be starting January 12th, I believe it is. And I'll be starting this series probably right after that, and maybe even before. I'm not sure yet, but this series, Winning with Prostate Cancer, No Fear Necessary, we're gonna, start that again, and really, like I said, we're gonna really do some deep diving into some areas. And I just want to thank those that have supported me on Podbean. Please visit my website at coreymoody.podbean.com. Right, if you're watching it live now, you see it's on Facebook. You can hear it live also at Podbean. So I appreciate the support. When we do the financial series next year, we will be doing webinars with Zoom because it's going to be interactive, and we got some good stuff next year. I mean, some real good stuff. We're going to hit some real good topics. In January 12th, we're going to kind of bring everybody up to speed. If you missed, the financial series last year, please go to the website so you can sign up on the Zoom so you can be part of it, because we want your input of what's happening, in your life and how we can help each other have an impact to make us who we're called to be for our lives. So one of the things I'm just going to throw out right now is, we're gonna have a V6. And I grew up in Michigan, and it's big auto industry. And I remember when I was growing up, everything's really was a V8. That was the horse. Then as we started having the energy crisis. We started coming down to a V6 and V4. But that horsepower came from having all those cylinders really kicking. So let's go. I'm gonna start up with a V6, and it's gonna be each cylinder has something, and I'm just going to kind of talk about, and actually, I'm just going to give them to you, and we'll expound on them next year. But it's value. That's one of the the pistons. Validation, victimization, vanity, variables, and viability. So those are the six. We're going to do what I call a deep dive on those and kind of bring them together to help us run this engine. Now, it's the electric cars, though. So it's a little different. They don't have all the the pistons and spark plugs and fuel injectors, gas, and just all the things that goes into the hood of a car. Now these electric cars are a little bit different. And what I've come to find out, they got more power than these V6, V8s, V12s. Because they don't have to go through all the mechanical, and we'll get a little bit more into it next year. But when electric cars came out, that was a hard change for us to kind of understand. Well, I'm not going to get an electric car. They slow and all this stuff. And when they first came out, they may have been. I can't say I really tried any. I know they had the hybrids that came out, but the true electric cars, what has kept us away, what keeps us away, is it just change or something we don't know? So I kind of want to get us comfortable being uncomfortable, just going into new areas. I'm going to talk about my health and what has transpired in 2021. You've probably heard bits and pieces, but I've been off for a few weeks, and what has transpired. I do want to come on this one note that I noticed something a few months ago. Actually, I noticed it maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I really started noticing it again when I started doing these live shows. And you can maybe see it now a little bit, or you can go back, look at some of the old videos, and it's really pronounced what was happening. And that was my left side of my mouth wasn't working as well as the right side of my mouth. Well, 35, 37 years ago, a while ago, I had Bell's palsy. And that's that's a temporary paralysis of one side of your face. But it affects your eyes, even your nostrils, your mouth, even your ears. Just one side of your face just kind of goes. Well, when it hit me 30 something years ago, I mean, it was really bad. I mean, I couldn't speak, couldn't talk. When I was brushing my teeth, trying to, let the toothpaste and out, it just dribbled. It just didn't. But when I couldn't spit, I'm just going to say it like that. You know what I'm saying? This wouldn't work right. It's just dribbling all down my face. Then I noticed my eye was red and it wasn't really blinking. So several years ago, I kind of noticed when we were taking pictures that sometimes my smile or my eye would just kind of sag a little bit. And I didn't think much of it. Um, but when I started doing these live shows again, I noticed it when would I would post the videos. I was like, wow, my mouth is not right. And also what was happening when I was eating, I was biting my tongue and lip a lot. So it's like it just wasn't reacting. Now I'm gonna just take these glasses off. And I don't know if you can see this left eye. Maybe it's not as open as this eye. I just noticed it through these glasses. And maybe it's just my paranoia, you don't see it. But there's a lot of things, excuse me, that I'm going to talk about next year. Not, about my health and other things that I think can help others. So when I kind of realized that Bell's palsy, maybe it didn't 100% heal, or it was just kind of coming back and it's not as bad now as it was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I don't know. But I just started doing some research. And one of the things I wanted to look at is who's had Bell's palsy. And when I saw George Clooney and Angelina Jolie, Terrence Howard, Bryce Pearson, who was the guy, the 007 guy, and a whole bunch of folks. And another person who actually had it at birth was Sylvester Stallone. And I kind of really took an interest to that because, we in the media, not me in the media, but in the media, and, even when we watch his movies, we were always kind of talk about his mouth and the way he speaks. And for a kid who was speech and until he was in the fifth grade, just kind of hit home again. And that here he has been suffering from something from birth and never really 100% got rid of it, but he just kept pressing on anyway. And, in his heyday, he was the top box office at the movies. Sylvester Stallone, he was the number one. And I'm just saying this to say that no matter what, we got to fight through whatever we think we are or what we've been told. And one of the V's we're going to talk about because we fall under one of those V's at times in our life. So you got to keep on pushing, keep on trucking. And I'm showing this background today, which you guys have probably seen because this was what kind of started when it was prostate cancer. But sometimes you got to see yourself with some wins. And I just needed to see a win as I started talking today. I needed to see this, that you can win. So as I started looking at all these famous people that had it, first thing I said was, dang, you got to be pretty to get it. Because those folks I named, those some pretty people. So I must be pretty. That's why I got Bell's palsy. If you didn't get Bell's palsy, I don't know. If you got Bell's palsy, you're probably beautiful. Hey, I'm just joking a little bit, trying to have a little fun. Hey, you have to when you lose half your face and stuff and can't talk. Got to keep on pushing. So I'm just kind of having a little fun with myself and gonna have a lot more fun in 2022 because I'm gonna expose some more stuff. We're gonna get deep. We're gonna take a deep dive. But my health is really good though. I'm doing well. My protocol and my lifestyle is really working for me, and I'm feeling good. So I just want to make sure that as we move into 2022, that we can do this. Doesn't matter. Sylvester Stallone had it since birth. So go watch one of his movies and you can see his mouth. Or just look up Bell's palsy. And they have the pictures. So those pictures you see, that was me in 1985 for several weeks. There's nothing they can do for it. But there are things that we can do in our lives that we can cross this finish line a winner. So, one of the things I kind of posted and was dream to reality. So as we go into 2022, what are some things that you have dreamt about in your life? And maybe most of yours have come true. And if so, join us to help us reach our dreams. And for those of us who haven't reached all our dreams or none of them or whatever's holding us back, let's break through this year. And I know we've probably heard, let this year be a breakthrough year. And we can listen to stuff, and it's probably a lot of stuff that, you can hear saying this is a breakthrough. But if we don't put things into action, it doesn't matter. So again, I just kind of want to thank you for being a part of Winning with Prostate Cancer. No fear necessary. I hope you continue to listen. Please, go to my website, CoreyMoody.podbean.com. Please follow me so you know when I post new stuff. I really appreciate it if you can do that, and just lets me know that you're out there. I get some analytics and feedback to know where people are watching or listening and stuff like that. But pick up the phone, send me an email. It helps me get through this process. So I got some new things starting, tomorrow and stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it, and looking forward to 2022. And don't let that calendar always be the indicator it's time to make a change. Sometimes those changes come a little earlier, a little later. They just come when you don't know it. But as we go on, let's build it together. So I want you to please go look at it, and you can see, building the dream to reality. So at some point, we can have all the material, the tools, our subs, we got our land, but we never start to build. I want 2022 to be the year you start building your dream. So I want to thank you for just joining me in this quick little segment, and look forward to talking to you over the next few days before the New Year's. So I'll be breaking in New Year's on my podcast. So that's what it is for me. But again, I want to thank you. Please let me know that you're out there somehow, some way. We're going to have interactive phone calls, callers. We're going to have more guests next year. I'm going to have some more shows with interviews as I started the podcast. So it's going to be a little different than it has been the last maybe 6-7 months. So again, I want to thank you. Again, that's CoreyMoody.podbean.com. Follow me on Facebook, also on Instagram. Again, look forward to seeing you in 2022, hearing from you. And again, God bless, and I love you.